universities and give you an European perspective. And I start by saying that obviously I'm not English, I'm Portuguese, so my command of English language is not exactly excellent, so I apologize for that. Universities from Hungary. We are representing 46 countries plus 34 national rectors conferences. What do? We try to be the voices of universities and how we go about addressing certain subjects. For instance, financial sustainability. The last one is about autonomy. Among the different universities, we have chosen 4 axes. One of the axes has got to do with the organization autonomy, is that one. We try to understand to what measure universities were free. I mean, what academic structures do they have? Do they have a scientific council or not? Do they have a senate or not? Do they have an administration board? And things like that. Third one, staffing autonomy. In many European countries, there is still strict regulations about recruiting procedures and promotion procedures. Let's look at our membership, 850, how does it go among them? Last but not least, academic autonomy. Are the universities free to offer a given number of places, or are the number of places? Organizational autonomy. The trends in Europe at the moment is that in the majority of countries, there are external members being involved in the policies. In many countries, universities have been told, you cannot recruit anybody else for the next 2 years. Why? Because we do not have enough money to pay. Whatever, there is a tendency to reduce the staff salaries. Then there is a need to have a new set of skills without any fees, but more and more there is a tendency for this understanding to be put aside. From one year to the other can be kept. The buildings of Coimbra University, maintaining that building is extraordinarily expensive, and it's not for sale. So these funds are given for a 5-year period, which means that the red color would have spread a little bit more down here, which has drastic consequences. Now, the challenge number 2 in terms of funding. So we spoke about cuts, now we speak about something else. More and more, there is a tendency at national level and you have got to have a project. And then there is also a tendency to have targeted funding. Whatever happens, there is a third challenge for research mainly, which is even more troublesome. And of course, because our investment in infrastructure and resources. Again, this tendency is widening the gap between the northern part of another European worry. It's about the complexity of the financial management. Nowadays, there are universities that have the rules, and this is putting an enormous burden on the management and on the administration. In this graph, the complexity that go above these are positively correlated with the degree of autonomy. It's the first one in the organization autonomy. So this how was it done? These are just facts. Perhaps they are, but they are not nuclear science. So they are just comparison authorities too. They can implement smart funding incentives. Then they can universities too. Universities should integrate the income diversification in an overall strategy. It's not enough to say I want. Now we need to say I want, and what I'm going to do to get it is this. So we've got to plan. to be strategic about our approach. We cannot young lecturers, not when they are 65 or 70 or whatever. It's when they are still young that they need to be trained. We have to co-minister, yes, but before persuading the minister, we have to persuade our colleagues so that they will run together with us. We need to change structures and organizations to make contracts from the industry, from whatever, from tuition, cannot replace sufficient public funding. In the majority of European countries, this is the case. 3/4 of the European countries, this is the case, 75%. Let's not be, how do you say, or imagine that all of us can all of a sudden become like the UK. The UK is a case unique, but there is a tendency in all Europe to compare with the UK. But UK is the odd man. If we want really to diversify income funding, we need to invest in infrastructures. We need to invest in people. We need to hire the big shots. It's impossible not to do. And of course,